Mazel morons, welcome back to the Good Guys podcast. I'm sitting here with the first ever recipient of the He Tried His Best medal at the Olympics. It's Ben Soffer.
I tried my best. And I'm also sitting here with international sensation, Modi. He's here on an international tour, Josh. He's going 4 weeks in Australia on the Pause for Laughter tour. Modi, thank you very much for joining us on the Good Guys podcast.
It's 4 shows in 1 week. There's no reason to be in Australia for 4 weeks. We don't even you take a picture with that opera thing and you move on.
How long is that flight?
Forever and a day. It's literally we go to Hong Kong, from Hong Kong to Melbourne. The good thing is, because of the time difference, my husband and I don't have such an age gap once we get there.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
The 22-year age gap shrinks a little bit because of the time difference.
It's like 24 hours, right?
It's insane.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Terrible. Josh, have you ever been to Australia?
No, I've never been. I went to Bali, Indonesia, which is about as long. It's 14 hours to Hong Kong and then 5 hours to Bali.
Why? Yeah. What's in Bali?
Bali is awesome.
Justifies that, but it justifies the 20 hours. I'm not saying that there's nothing in Bali.
Somebody that's in my head.
There's something in Australia. I'm not saying they don't have beautiful beaches. I'm not saying that the people aren't objectively perfect. I'm just saying it's too long.
It's too long. I know you finally, but people tell me you have to visit. No. I don't have to visit anywhere. It's all on National Geographic.
No, and I know that we canceled the Maldives, so it's fine. They're gone.
Yes, the Maldives.
But I wanted to go.
Modi, when we first met a few minutes ago, I said in Hebrew, I said Maneshma, like how are you? And you said Baruch Hashem, which is thank God. Why, as Jews, are we constantly? It's like we are in such fear always that we're just like, when all else fails, just thank God. Thank God now, thank God later, constantly thanking God.
So God is one. So thank God. The fact that all 3 of us are together, you're in LA, you're here, you haven't eaten, and we're all together, it's oneness. So we thank the oneness that brought us together. That's echad. That's why we say, Baruch Hashem, thank God, thank oneness.
Wow, Josh, did you expect to learn that?
That is beautiful.
No, he's not. He's in LA. He's 9 a.m. He's no idea it's even a morning. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. I had to fight traffic coming here to see you, Modi. That's how much I love you.
You what? You had a what?
I had to fight absurd traffic this morning just to see you, but that's how much I love you. I had to get here.
You had traffic, and he came in from the East Hamptons, which means you have scoliosis now.
I do.
And my
dad is actually a C. He actually recently got scoliosis, 14-hour scoliosis surgery, so now he looks better. He was a C. Mine is acted up. I'm done.
That drive is the worst.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's slow.
Yeah, so I did the shows. I had those shows in West Hampton, which is before all that Hamptons-ish.
Mm-hmm.
West Hampton's like it's the Jewish ghetto.
Yeah,
it's literally the current day Warsaw ghetto, but with mansions. and I get it. They drive 70 miles on that LIE, and you're there.
Yep.
The rest of them, West Hampton, Bridgehampton, Millhampton, Milford, whatever, Zacatepec, Sagazubbi, it's another 2 hours in one lane.
Yes.
You're standing in between 2 cars that are meant to go 180.
Yes.
There's a guy in his Maserati, a guy in some antique Ferrari behind you, and you're sitting there doing 2 miles an hour. It's hell.
Hell. You know what's interesting? I recently drove back to East Hampton. Me, my wife, and her sister in the car. Claudia played the Beacon Theater last week. We were driving back from it.
4 shows.
4 shows, yeah.
4 shows.
Yeah, crazy.
Don't sold
out shows.
Don't brush over my Claudia did the Beacon Theater.
I know, it's crazy.
Have you been in that place?
Oh yeah.
To look inside there?
Every time.
I went to do the promo videos for my one sold out show, one about to be sold out, and God willing, adding one more. It's
unbelievable. It's the best theater. Oh, it's so good. It's beautiful.
So congratulations to her.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I will relay it. But we're driving back from these beautiful sold out shows at the Beacon. And we're driving, and from the minute that we leave Manhattan, there's a 911 Porsche that's neck and neck with us.
Yep.
Every time I speed up, he speeds up. He goes 150, waits for me to catch up. He'll go from 150 to 50. This like back and forth the whole time. And of course he got off in Southampton. It's like the mental, it's not like a mental midget. Like you need to go fast. So you go fast.
They're insane.
They're insane.
First of all, do you live in New York?
Yes.
Okay. So after COVID,
yes,
people on the highway began doing the racing thing.
Yes.
It's a very thing that happened after COVID. It's insanity. They're like racing over each other, or like trying to go in between the cars, like they're playing Frogger. Now, when you go to the Hamptons, if we're already continuing this conversation, so you're driving the whole drive and you see the same people in the same cars.
Yeah.
And you realize even though you're in this lane, that lane, in a few exits, you're going to be in the same thing.
Yes.
And the more expensive the car is, the more miserable they look inside.
Yes.
They're in a Bentley, they look like they've been fighting and they hate each other's guts. The guy driving out to be a guest in a Toyota Camry couldn't be happier.
Oh,
Thrilled.
yeah.
I'm going to be at the pool house. I'm going to be great. I have no worries. The other ones, that the housekeeper come, is the catering showing up? Is this showing up? They're miserable.
Miserable.
Because
Miserable.
it's the key in life is to be a guest, or as my friend Bruce used to say, who was on his 4th marriage, if it flies, floats, or fucks, rent it. It's true. Like, I would imagine having a house in the Hamptons owning one is so much pressure. Because you're like, if you're not there every second, it's wasting. And then everyone wants to come out and use said house. It's a whole thing.
That said, these guys are making a pretty penny renting out their house.
100%.
They are making, Josh, more money in one summer than it
that's what you
cost to
did.
maintain.
You
rented.
You rented a house. Yeah.
Yeah, we rented a
But
house for 2 months, and it's more expensive to do that than it is to pay the mortgage on owning the house for the year.
So I'm gonna. This podcast is coming out
Whenever
whenever we want.
Whenever you want.
So thank God tomorrow I'm closing on a house in Connecticut.
Congrats.
Being a guest
Beautiful.
is fun, but being your own thing is better, and having guests is better. And from being guests all over the world in mansions, and we've learned things. We learned things of what you want as a guest. One of the things I think all guests want, counter space. Is that true or no?
Yeah.
When you get into a room, you want to have someplace to put your phone, your keys, your stuff, have it all easy and seen to you, and just
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, Josh is a wonderful homeowner in a gorgeous house in an undisclosed location in California because we don't want people showing up and we need to sell. But I still do understand being a guest is definitely less headache. But being a host, I've recently had a cooking renaissance. I love cooking for people.
Oh, you
I
do?
love hosting people. I love doing for people. So.
I love watching my husband order food in. It is the best thing. No, he does it with such a style and a flair. And he orders like a Holocaust survivor. He orders a lot of food as if like extra people are coming. It's crazy. But yeah, people, this cooking, we were just in Jay Cohen's house, the cookbook.
Yeah, Jake's great.
Yeah.
Love Jake.
I don't connect to that at all, but it's fun to have. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. Josh also cooks. Big cooker. Big steak griller.
I can grill some steaks. I can do some things. I don't mind. Here's my thing, and you guys tell me. I have a real issue with the delivery fees of a DoorDash, of a food delivery. I'm a picker-upper. I don't mind the ordering. I like the ease of a DoorDash, but I'm going to pick it up because when I see that $30 surcharge, it's not, listen, boys, I'm flush, okay? We're doing well here. This is a top 1,000 podcast, but the reality is, I can't constitute that $30. Feels like a waste.
So let me tell you what that is. Okay, you need to have something to do with the meal. It's not the $30. It's something to do with the meal. Let me tell you a story. That I learned. Someone taught me. You know when you make the Duncan Hines brownies, you put the powder in. And
yes.
You have to put 2 eggs in.
And the oil.
You have to put 2 eggs in and the oil. Right?
Yes.
They could have done it without you putting the eggs in and the oil. There was a way to do it without it, but it sold less. People feel like they are contributing to it. You need to be a part of getting the food for your guests.
Yes.
You need to be a part of that. So like, hey, I went to get the food, I'll be back. So that's what I think that is. It's the eggs and the oil is you picking it up. Not that you being a cheap.
That is interesting. I think he is both.
I am both. I got in a fight with my wife.
He's a cheap son of a bitch?
He's not cheap. No, he's thoughtful about things that maybe I'd be less thoughtful about. Would you agree?
Yes, but with due respect, and I don't want it for anyone else, but we grew up differently. Not that you grew up so flush and rich, but you grew up with a certain level of financial security that I didn't. So,
agreed.
So I think I'm a little bit more miserly.
Agreed. Miserly. That's a good word.
It's also how you think of things. You know, we get at the end of the year, our accountant shows us what we paid in Uber. And it is the most insane number.
Tell him to stop doing that.
No, we have to see what.
That's in self-inflicted pain.
But
I don't want to know.
It's a part. It's like we have a driver. It's like we have a driver for the business. There's a business. My husband and I share a business. I get on stage. He makes sure that there's a stage to get onto. We have a business, and a part of the business is this driver named Uber, and that's a part of it.
That's fantastic. Josh, we need a driver for the business.
Well, we need so many write-offs. I'm down. Let's start scamming the government now. But I recently gotten into a little tiff with my wife about this, and you guys tell me, because my wife too gave me a little shit about being cheap at times, but it was specifically about me. That whenever I buy myself clothes or whatever, love a Nordstrom sale, love a Nordstrom rack, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. My wife, I said to her, listen to me. I said, we live in a multi-million-dollar house. You drive an insane Land Rover. You and the kids want for nothing. And she's like, I know, but she's like, you're cheap with yourself. I'm like, so don't worry about me. Like, don't worry about what I do with me.
But he's the ultimate host. This is what I'm saying.
That's it. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. You're
right.
right.
What do you guys think of that? Is that I got a little annoyed with her.
No,
it's where people become cheap is where it's interesting. Let me tell you. So before comedy, I was in finance. I was in investment banking.
Okay.
And then I worked in the private sector where we had individuals with corporate accounts that were as big as with individual accounts that were as big as corporate accounts. So when the guy came in, it's like the entire corporation's there with him. So we had international clients who were many from South Africa, and they came in to do trusts and all kind of stuff, and they looked like you'd never know they were billionaires. And one time we came in for a trust, and we had this pen, like a little big pen for them to do sign. And he looked at the pen, he was in shock. This is a pen? Like, this is like his look and his everything is so cheap. But where it comes to a pen, luckily I remembered that one of the assistants was given like a big Mont Blanc pen for Christmas from their boss. And I ran and grabbed it out of their hands and said, oh no, here's the pen for you to sign. It depends where people are cheap on.
What's interesting that you bring that up, Josh can attest, I'm certainly not cheap. I'm quite the opposite. I would never, ever, ever pay more than $1 for a pen.
So that's what your thing is.
I think a pen is where I'm not buying an expensive pen. What are you, nuts? I'm also cheap with watches because anything that I can lose, I'm pretty cheap with.
You don't lose a watch.
No. You could.
You never take a watch. You never took a watch off your hand.
You could.
What's on your wrist, Modi? I can see it from here. I'm 3,000 miles away. What are we rocking?
Yeah, this is a gold Daytona watch.
Yeah,
gold Rolex Daytona.
What color is the face and the year? I'll tell you how much it goes retail right now. What year?
2015.
Okay, right now, you go to the Diamond District, it's going to cost you $52,000.
Where are you getting? Are you out of your mind? Much more. He knows nothing. No, he's lecturing as if he knows what he's talking about. Just because you're in front of a microphone and have these things on your head doesn't mean you know anything.
I'll ask Google.
Stick Google right me, Tuchus, because you need to. Google doesn't know the guy on 42nd on 47th Street.
What is
this? Is 2015. The band is solid gold. The band is solid. You got in your mind. No one's selling this to you for under $65.70. If you find it,
Josh,
now you might find it with the face.
Bob's watches. It's $36,495.
What year? What year watch? And what's the face?
What year?
1982. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's an Oldsmobile. He found some Oldsmobile Rolex.
It's okay for 36,000. It's a 2005. All right, here we go. 61,000. Let's see. Because
told you
that would be that's in the middle. That's in the middle. You said 68. I said 52. Okay,
a watch you buy to this. I remember. Let me tell you why I bought this watch. I've done a million private events. People like 50th anniversary. We want Modi. I wanted to do a show for us. Okay. Love that.
Yeah.
I could do, and just send me a little information about the people. I don't do
it's
a
like
roast.
a live cameo.
He's still looking. The son of a bitch is looking for a Rolex. Look at him. Put the phone away.
Never. It's gone. It's gone.
He's not, trust me. You're not going to tell me about watches. I promise you that.
I want to learn more about watches.
So hold on. So I had a meeting with it. So I was thinking about getting this watch, and it was a whole thing. And I got somebody who knew somebody who got, and I had a connection. But I was like, nah, what am I going to drop this money for? And I had a dinner with a guy, Michael LaVine, a guy who owns a bank. And he wanted to meet me before we did the show. He just wanted to meet the comic who's going to perform at his 50th, or was it 70th, and whatever it was. And out of nowhere, he was so sweet, but I don't know, he said to me something. He said, "This is not a rehearsal. This is life. This is not like a rehearsal." I left that dinner and I called the guy. I said, "Tomorrow I'm coming to pick up the watch." And I got the watch.
Box and papers? Box and papers or what?
What box? A full under my name, registered, and the guy Googled me, and it said born in Israel, so it says my location is Israel, connected to the watch.
Wow.
It's under Mordechai Rosenfeld, but Tel Aviv is the city that it's registered out of.
Your name is Mordechai Rosenfeld? That's gorgeous. You win.
Gorgeous.
You win.
Gorgeous.
Wait, and when we finished the special, my last special, we did the Know Your Audience, right? And the tour, when we finished it, my husband produced all of it. Produced it, he edited it, he directed it, is everything. And just then, there's a new Rolex that just came out. It's called the Bruce Wayne.
Yes, it's black and gray bezel, GMT2.
So I got it for him because the gray is the same color as when you're looking at a seating chart on a sold out show.
Wow.
It's the same gray. So I got him that watch.
Wow.
Which you can't get that watch, by the way. There were 10 in America when I got that watch.
So you're a watch man.
I love watches.
You love watches.
Love watches.
Okay. What's your favorite watch that you own?
Right now, I'm telling you, there's no watch I'd rather wear than this one.
Than that watch.
But there's a few APs that I have my eye on, but yeah.
And you know those, Josh, what's the name of that TikTok account?
Vukum.
That woman on 40. What's her name?
Oh, the woman, the popular one is Vukum on TikTok.
Yes, but,
he's a watch guy.
Yeah, no, there's that woman that goes on to 47th Street and maybe sells to Vukum. I'm obsessed with those accounts. They're so funny. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by LMNT. LMNT helps anyone stay hydrated without the sugar and other dodgy ingredients found in popular electrolyte and sports drinks. Electrolyte deficiency or imbalance can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, brain fog, and weakness. Who wants that? No one. Introducing LMNT. LMNT is a zero-sugar electrolyte drink mix born from the growing body of research revealing that optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times government recommendations. Each stick pack delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes free of sugar, artificial colors, or other dodgy ingredients. LMNT is formulated for anyone on a mission to restore health through hydration and is perfectly suited for athletes, folks who are fasting, or those who follow keto, low-carb, whole food, or paleo diets. So what is healthy hydration? I'm glad you asked. Hydration isn't just about drinking water. Being optimally hydrated is about optimizing your body's fluid ratios. This fluid balance depends on many factors, including the intake and excretion of electrolytes. Some benefits of electrolytes: improve cognitive function. We're all trying to improve our cognitive function, aren't we? Electrolytes, especially sodium, regulate fluid balance in and around the brain. They also help transmit signals between neurons, which literally allows us to think. Goodbye brain fog. How important are electrolytes? Who knew? I did, because I've been drinking LMNT, and so should you. So folks, join Olympians, professional athletes, celebrity chefs like myself, and try LMNT. Get your free LMNT sample pack with any purchase at drinkelement.com/goodguys. That's drinklmnt.com/goodguys. LMNT. LMNT. Also, try new LMNT Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by AG1. Folks, I first gave AG1 a try because I was looking for more energy. A friend of mine took AG1, and they mentioned that it gave them that sustained energy boost throughout the day that they just weren't getting from coffee. And all I want is to be more energetic throughout the day. If I have more energy, I just feel better. So I tried AG1. You guys know this already. I've spoken about them at length. I'm obsessed. It's my every single morning routine. I need my AG1. And I haven't even told the AG1 team this, but I'm going to tell you guys first. I ran out of travel packs last week. I went 5 days without AG1. Maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it isn't. I got sick. My energy levels were depleted. I got my AG1 back yesterday. 2 days. I feel amazing. I feel so much better. AG1 is so important to me. It's a part of my routine. I absolutely love it. And I would highly recommend you guys trying it too, because maybe it'll change your life. It really has changed my life. I absolutely love it. And not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more, but it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. Just one scoop mixed in water once a day, every day. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 Travel Packs. Love those. You can take them anywhere with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/goodguys. That's drinkag1.com/goodguys. Check it out.
Modi, I'm dying to know because, like you just mentioned, like you've had this really, amazing career and so much success. And tell me if I'm wrong, it feels like over the last couple of years with the advent of people going viral on TikTok and whatnot, it gave you this even bigger bump, this even bigger sort of public recognition. What's that been like?
It began during COVID.
Okay.
I've been doing comedy since 1994.
Oh, wow.
It's 30 years already. 30 years. So 1984 is the day I began working at the Comedy Cellar. So I mark that as the day I began comedy. I've been doing it and I'm making a living and bought apartments and then COVID happened and I'm in my house with my millennial husband and he's like, and who is a problem solver? He's looking at me and he goes, what is the problem here? You don't have enough video, you don't have the right agent, you don't have the knife this, you don't have that. And we started doing bits and videos and one thing led to another and it built up and built up. And then he sold his business and he took over everything.
Wow.
And that was where it blew up. And he got the right agent, he got the right publicist, he got the right people to do the special, he got the right everything, and then even edited the and that's how it blew up. And the special, even though it doesn't have an insane amount of views, the clips from the special have 9 million, 11 million views, 12 million views, and that's how it kind of like that's how we're selling out the Beacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
And was one of those clips from the special the Shabbat Shalom clip?
Shabbat Shalom was just it was just Mashiach energy. Just that was it. That just happened. We had a guy, Jason Katz was our videographer. He had the camera on me, and that night I was just on fire that night, and it was and just clipped, and that was it, and that went nuts.
Did you feel like we've had the great Chris DiStefano on the pod, and he has that famous story where he talks about 9/11, and it's a 15-minute story at the Comedy Cellar, which basically got him a sitcom deal, got him friends with Seinfeld. Like it was sort of like that extra sort of boost. Did you feel that in the moment, Modi, or was it like a surprise that people glommed onto that clip?
It was a surprise. I didn't know that would go viral like it did and shared. And it does. It's such in the Jewish world, you guys know there's Sephardic and Ashkenazi, and it's shtuyot. It's nothing. It's again echad, oneness. It's God.
Will you explain it, Modi, just to our non-Jewish listeners, the difference just on paper so they can jump into?
So the Sephardic Jews, so the Ashkenazi Jews are the Jews that look like you and me.
Yeah,
it's the Sephardic Jews. There's from the Eastern Europe and Europe, okay, all the way to Spain. And the Sephardic Jews, which Sephardic is Spain, Spanish Jews, it's really what it's. They're from Spain into Africa and into all the way to Iraq, and those are the Sephardic Jews. Which sound and when they pray, you think it was like Arabs.
Yeah,
it was like Muslims. They're the same. That's the same tones, the same all that. And the Ashkenazi Jews, when we pray, the goyim, the non-Jews stole our motifs. Like so that's the difference between. But we're still Jews, and so one of them say Shabbat Shalom, Sephardic and Ashkenazi, Good Shabbos. And that we began getting emails and DMs. My husband's Sephardic, my wife's Ashkenazi, and in my special, I ended up doing a huge chunk, which I thought I was going to edit out. But then I said, nah, leave it all in. Let me get rid of this Sephardic Ashkenazi stuff, and people have it. And in my special, I go deep into it. How they do the prayers, how they read the Torah, how they read the this, how they do the that, and in the special, I'm explaining it to somebody sitting in the audience that's not Jewish. So it's really funny. Yeah.
It's funny. And Josh, I'm happy you had Modi explain that. Of course, we're very, very proud Jews. We talk about Judaism endlessly on the show.
Yeah.
And we have, I'd say, the vast majority of our listeners are not Jewish, and they're just so curious.
Yes.
And they're so excited to learn. And they're such staunch supporters. Like, they love what we say. But like, Josh, what was that girl? Remember the one from the Midwest that asked what lox was?
Oh, yes. And then she went to her local supermarket and I don't know, Milwaukee, and was like looking for locks. And they were like, ma'am, you might have to be committed. Like, you know, or no, they showed her a padlock. I was working in, I told the story, I was working in Vancouver over COVID, and my son, who's half Jewish, I wanted to give him a proper like Hanukkah, and so I was looking for a menorah, and I go into the store, and the man looks at me and goes, "Manure?" I said,
Manure.
What store did you walk into looking for a menorah?
So I go to Bed Bath & Beyond in Vancouver, and they go,
Should have it, by the way.
They have it here, yeah.
they said, we had one once, but we don't have it anymore.
Wow.
I said,
Manure.
gotcha. So they
That's
said,
funny.
try Canada Tire, which is like kind of their version of like it's like Walmart. So they have
Right,
Walmart
right.
too, but they have a Canadian Tire. So I went there, and he sent me to the gardening supplies.
Now, by the way, Amazon.
Just
Unbelievable.
Amazon or the Chabad house. Call the Chabad rabbi of the area. In 2 minutes, he'll send his son and he'll bring you a menorah.
I shut up. You're right.
That's
Yeah, the
hysterical.
Chabad is a good one. That's good.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Yeah, but people that aren't Jewish are. So luckily, my new audience, and when I ask where's everybody from, and now I have not just the Jews, I have the goyim, gays, and theys.
Okay.
That's the new audience I
Okay.
have now, and I love them. When goyim come to the show, they bring their. He goes, have you seen this comedian? He's Jewish. You're Jewish. You should see him, and they bring him. So
That's funny.
we had these shows in Huntington. I'm looking out, and there's this like a patch of women wearing hijabs. I'm like, at my show, and they're cracking up and dying laughing.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like, this is amazing.
That's amazing.
They're nurses that work with other nurses that they got tickets, and they said, let's all go see Modi in Huntington. And it was just to see them laughing was so great.
Amazing.
It's just, that's where peace is going to come from laughter.
Yeah, our one fan in Pakistan. He's been a
Shout
fan
out.
of Josh. We think since Josh, since his earlier days, he's been a fan of him. But we have this one, when we look in our stats, we have one fan that listens in Pakistan.
You're kidding, really?
No, yeah.
Yeah, we're big
Yeah.
in the stands. Dagestan, Turkmenistan. We're huge
We're
in the
big in the
stands.
stands.
Now we're working towards the Caucasus. Yeah.
But Modi, you bring up such a great point, because at a time where I think for all of us, there's the temptation could be to preach and become combative, especially if we have, the ability, we have microphones and we can be. And I think, to your point, using our gifts, our talent, the ability in which to be funny and convey a story, it seems the best way to win over hearts and minds.
This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by Robody. At the Good Guys Podcast, we are no strangers to semaglutide. Yeah, we talk about them all the time. Ozempic, Wegovy. We freaking love these shots. They've changed my life, absolutely changed my life. And I'd love them to change your life, but I know that they're hard to get. I know that they're expensive, okay? But they're incredibly effective. I mean, look at me. I look gorgeous, incredibly effective. And that's where Ro comes in. Are you curious about Ozempic or Wegovy but can't get your hands on it? That's where Ro comes in. You've probably already heard how effective Ozempic and Wegovy are, not just from me, but from friends and family, people online. You've also probably heard that they're in a shortage, which is true. But Ro makes it possible to access GLP-1s and start your journey ASAP. Can't find Ozempic or Wegovy? Let Ro help. Through Ro, you can access prescription compounded GLP-1s with the same weight loss ingredients as brand name GLP-1s at a fraction of the cost. Ro has compounded GLP-1s in stock now. You can get it in 1 to 4 days if you qualify. Ro members have support throughout the process. If eligible for medication, patients have access to their provider on demand for any questions. You can see if you qualify from the comfort of your own home. This means no scheduling a doctor's appointment, no commute to the doctor's office, and no waiting rooms. If you're prescribed, your medication ships directly to you within 1 to 4 days. So folks, what are you waiting for? Start your journey today. Go to ro.co/good, ro.co/good. Memberships start at just $99 a month for your first month. Medication costs are separate. That's ro.co/good. ro.co/good. Go to ro.co/safety for black box warning and full safety information. Compounded medicine is not required to and does not receive FDA review or approval. RX only.
If I could, the Israeli government, if they pulled it together and there was peace there, there'd be peace all over the world. That's from the Talmud. The Knesset Yisrael. Knesset is what the parliament is called, but it's also in the Torah, Knesset Yisrael. It's a thing. If there was peace there, there'd be peace everywhere. I believe every session of Congress, Senate, the Knesset, any parliament in England, in Pakistan, should begin with 5 minutes of comedy. Bring a comic, 5 minutes of comedy, and then do your business. Everybody's in a different headspace. Everybody's calmed. Whatever the body goes through when you have laughter, the endorphins, whatever the
serotonin, the dopamine.
Serotonin. That's it. It's like a little oral Molly for everybody, and then do your Congress and Senate, and you'll be in a different place.
Now, what is growing up, like we talk about our Jewish mothers a lot. I've got a Barbara, Ben's got an Ava. Can you do any moments stick out in your head?
I'll top you both with a Batya.
Okay. Batya. That's awesome. That sounds like a couture brand. Like, I got the new Batya bag.
Batya is a daughter, like bat mitzvah, and Ya is God, the daughter of God. Batya.
Beautiful.
That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
My Hebrew name is Ben Sion.
There you go.
Son of God.
So
does that make me Jesus?
Does that make you?
Can I call you Jesus?
He'd be a lot rich. He'd be doing a lot better.
Right? I'm not doing enough with my gifts.
He'd have a driver to the Hamptons.
I'm not doing enough with my gifts.
So do any like growing up with, the Jewish family, like any specific stories jump out? Because we're always sort of sharing our war stories of growing up with domineering Jewish parents.
We came to America. I was 7 years old. Went to the 5 towns, the jappiest.
Where on 5 towns?
Woodmere.
Okay.
The jappiest. The jappiest.
Explain that for our non-Jewish listeners, just so they can.
Oh my.
Jewish American princess.
And
said in the most lovely way.
Yes.
Jewish American princesses, and it's an affluent neighborhood.
But we love the 5 towns. With the 5 towns, if you can think of every single stereotype of a Jewish person, it exists in the 5 towns of Long Island.
Okay, so the 5 towns when we got there was just imagine all the people that came after the war into Europe, right? And they all came from the war, and they all lived in the tenements, and then they made money, and then their kids had money, and they bought in the 5 towns. They had so now it's a better to do, and the kids, it's just a richer area, and it became very religious. It wasn't the same as it is now. Now it looks like Borough Park. It's like just there's synagogues on every corner, and everybody's in black hats, and everything's kosher restaurants. And when we were there, it was this affluent, like beautiful, and all my friends were American, but my mother and we were in the house. It was Israel. In my house, it was only Hebrew. There were only newspapers from Israel. There wasn't, it was Israel, and we spoke Hebrew only. And so when I would call my friends' houses and be like, "Hello, is Mark home? 1 minute, Modi. Here's Mark." That's the whole conversation. You come up on Israeli's mother's house. "Hello, who this is? Who this is, ma? What you do? I'm an attendance with Modi. You play with yourself. 1 minute, Modi, Mark." And it was that whole, that whole difference, like in the carpool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have carpool?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, so my mom in the morning would come out like she had the sunglasses with the prescription in there, and she's driving with the cigarette. This is 80s, 70s. My mom had a huge yellow Cadillac with yellow interior. My father was in the car business, so he always crazy cars came through the house. My mom's driving us all, and all the kids are in the car, and she's speaking with her heavy Israeli accent, like speaking to some kid, is your father still in jail?
Right. Cut
Or
right
is he
to
with
it.
or is he with the ankle on the foot? Is he has the ankle on the foot, so he's in the house now? Okay, that's good. Okay, good.
Your uncle is still indicted?
Yeah, my mom just dropped these things. It's crazy.
No filter. Zero.
Zero. My father's zero filter. My father had no editing skills whatsoever, which is part of like how I think my comedy develops. too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend growing up whose family was from Israel, and his family lived on the kibbutz, and his uncle was like, he equated him to like a Jewish hick. Like, this is how Israeli he was. Like, and he married a girl like I married my wife, beautiful Irish Catholic girl. So he marries this girl. And so the families are now meeting before the wedding. So his uncle flies in and some of his family from Israel, and they're sitting down. And the wife's father says, I quit smoking, thank God, 25 years ago. And it's one of the best things I ever did. And the Israeli uncle looks at him and goes, what do you mean? He says, smoking is healthy. He says,
I was going to ask when you brought it up, the relationship between Israelis and smoking cigarettes is, I love an occasional cigarette for sure. You go to Israel, everybody smokes cigarettes. Is it cultural?
It also in Paris, we had
I guess
shows
that's true.
in Paris.
It's also just,
everybody smoked. It's just it's such a fact. But we grew up in a house. So I'll tell you guys a funny story. My mother, at my bar mitzvah, because we recently found some pictures and videos. My mother was bone thin, hot, like in 80s, the hair, the sequence dress. You guys are too young to remember any of this shit.
Sure.
But it was like my mama killed it. She was on 3 packs a day. She wasn't eating. It was the Ozempic of the 80s, smoking cigarettes. So she was 3 packs a day. And my bar mitzvah, bone thin. What was I telling you this for? Because
I asked about the relationship between Israelis and smoking. And then you said Paris, everybody smokes.
Everybody, so in the house, I grew up in a house where there was smoke.
Yeah.
You guys are too young to even understand what there's ashtrays.
no, I'm 86.
in the room.
Yeah.
What?
I'm born in 86, so I remember restaurant smoking sections and
You
on
do?
planes.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. So now I get a job. I get one of my first jobs out of college. It was before Merrill Lynch. I was at this Dutch bank called ING.
Mm-hmm.
And I was an assistant to a guy that sat on the desk and smoked.
Yeah.
This is 93 or 4.
Yeah.
Right. So now indoors, but he was a bigger producer than anybody else on the table.
Great.
And he went through assistants like nothing. They were just like 2 weeks, 1 week, nothing. He sat with a pack of red marbles and Halls.
yeah.
You know Halls, the cough drop. And he sat there, and there was zero personal interaction with him. Zero. He'd put the bets in. I would make sure the thing was clearing. We'd get the order would come back, and he smoked, chain smoked, and I had no problem with it. I grew up in a house with smoke.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, I get all my licenses, my Series 7, 63, all the commodities, everything. I went and I came back, and like we almost had this personal moment. You understand? I'm 6 months with this guy. There's never a call from his wife. There's zero personal interaction. And I saw this room for a little bit of just to ask him something personal. So I said to him, Hal, why the Halls mentholyptus cough drops every day? You can tell he was annoyed that he had to have this personal moment with me. And he says to me, it opens your lungs up and more smoke can come in.
Hell yeah.
And then he says, buy the RG Pars at 35, get me the things there. And then right as if nothing happened. But I was able to maintain that job because I could handle smoke.
Wow.
That was, yeah.
I'm putting that on my LinkedIn.
Yeah. Can handle smoke.
Great at handling smoke. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But I love asking this because like, so clearly the path you're on, Modi, was who you were always meant to be, a great artist, comedian. When you're working at a Merrill Lynch, were there moments where you felt like, if this is my life forever, it will have been incomplete? Or did you find some peace there?
Keep in mind, I was 23, 24.
Oh, okay.
I was so happy to have this job.
Yes.
I got to wear these hot suits. Back then, you wore suits. I had gorgeous suits. gorgeous suits with the shleikes, with the
Yeah.
shleikes, what the suspenders.
lapels.
Yeah.
Shleikes.
I like that name.
Great, what a great
Schleikes.
shleikes. That's in
Great.
Yiddish for suspenders.
Wow,
Yeah.
Schleikes, Josh. We
Schleikes.
add that
Wow,
to the
that's
arsenal.
going to be my new screen name. I love it.
Yeah, Schleikes.
At Schleikes.
So I had the shleikes that I didn't know that I had a calling. Then I was in this international division of Merrill Lynch, and everything was in different languages. And I used to come home, and my friends, we used to hang out, and I would do the imitations of the secretaries. And then one of my friends goes, "You've got to do this on stage." I go, "What stage?" He goes, "Stand up." I go, "I'd never been to a stand up comedy club." My friend organized it.
Wow.
Five blocks away from the Beacon Theaters where I began doing
Wow.
stand-up comedy, club called Stand Up New York. Did they just change names or something? And you had to bring 5 people to get 5 minutes of comedy.
A bringer.
So it was
Wow.
a bringer show.
Sure.
So he organized it, and then I went up and I just in the full. Everybody came in looked like this. I
Yeah.
came in with a suit,
Yeah.
and then I began doing that, and I would be doing open mics nights and late spots and everything all in a suit because I'd be coming from the bank, and that's how it began. But I never thought, I was like, okay, this is great. I'm doing banking. I didn't realize,
Can we
Yeah.
can we talk about one current event currently, which is these Olympics? And can I?
Yes.
Do I have to continue to pretend like I care about any of it? Because I don't.
It's an excellent question. I also am having some issues with the majority of events. But Modi, how much do you care about the Olympics at
I'm
this point?
shocked at how great their bodies are.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, they're
Yes.
built beautifully.
Wow.
Yes.
And they hopped. They understand. Okay, yes, I can do this horse thing or whatever and jump on the pole, or whatever these goyim do.
Pole vault.
But they understand that the world's watching them. So they got their Instagram accounts going. That one guy, he could be wearing contact lenses, but he's got those thick glasses. So now everybody knows him with the guy with the glasses.
Yes.
And the other one did this, and that one's doing that, and they all bravo to them. They understand that this is, that swimmer. What's her name?
Ledecky.
Ledecky.
Yes.
Wow, she's swimming, and she has that family of hers that looks like a commercial for Wonder Bread. They
It's
keep going to the
beautiful.
family. Have you seen the family? What it looks like?
Gorgeous
Yes.
family. She's
Oh,
incredible.
What is her father-in-law? He's the owner of something incredibly impressive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, she's
Chick-fil-A.
really rich.
Chick-fil-A. That's
No,
the
what
only-
is
Oh God,
that's
is
the only
Chick-fil-A good? What about?
God, I wish I
have you
knew.
guys seen the discrepancy of how much, depending from country to country, you win if you get a gold medal? Like if you're in Taiwan, you get upwards of $900,000 from the government for having a gold.
Wow.
And
Israel pays well too. I think Israel's like 300 grand, right?
well, I know
Something like that?
America's 40 grand.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
gold.
that existed. I know
Yeah.
that, I thought just you get to win whatever deals you get with Adidas or Nike. That's your,
That is par for the course, but
Yeah.
individual countries will put bounties on medals.
wow.
And yeah.
All I remember is that the year or last time it was in Russia.
Yeah.
And someone forgot to, at the fireworks, you know how they do the 5 circles? Whoever was in charge of the fireworks forgot to hit the button for the last one, and the next day he was dead.
Wow.
Yeah, that was what I
Oh my
remember. Yeah, so
God.
you do not want to be a Russian athlete coming back with no medals.
No.
You do not want to be showing up there saying hi to Putin with no medals.
No.
Yeah.
And speaking of the good bodies, my wife, I think, would leave me for Caleb Dressel. She's been pretty public about that. The swimmer?
Yeah,
Caleb?
yeah.
Yeah, she thinks he is just it. It's
Yeah.
it. That's it. And I have probably the opposite of the swimmer's body, I'd say.
No, but
The-
you're sweet. You have these
the-
nice eyes. You have a
Thank
nice
you.
little head of
Thank
hair.
God.
No,
Yes.
you're good. You're
Thank
good.
God.
And you
Thank
can
God.
drive. And you can drive.
I can definitely drive.
And you have
Yeah.
20/20 eyesight with your glasses on.
Yes,
What-
with my contacts. wait. Oh, wait. I'll save it for my wedding.
Yeah,
no,
should
that
we-
guy's glasses. It's a thing. The bottom of the glasses look like the bottom of like a Snapple bottle. It's this thick, and he's sitting there examining the horse. This thing is gonna go jump all over the place, putting the powder all over it, and everybody's just obsessed with him and his glasses. If Lens Crafters doesn't do an event with him, they're idiots.
Idiots. It's iconic.
Iconic, yeah.
So we only have.
But to answer the question,
Yeah.
no, nothing there. No, I've never had I wanted to. I'm impressed that they do it, but I
Can you? Yeah. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, but
Okay.
nothing there really.
No.
Yeah. So if I'm exercising, it's for me. It's to lose weight. It's to be thin. It's to be in shape. That's why I don't do golf.
I love it. So we have only one scripted thing on this show,
Okay.
and it is a moment called "What Are You Nuts?"
Okay.
It is people, places, and things, gripes with humanity. You're walking down the street, you look at a lady, you're like, lady, what are you fucking nuts?
Okay.
Are you crazy? So I'm happy to go first if you want to think of yours.
I know mine. Go ahead.
I'm walking I drive in from East Hampton this morning. I go upstairs for a minute just to check, make sure that nothing's on fire in my apartment. Air conditioning's off, lights are off. I leave. I go to my doorman and I say, do I have any packages? I'm expecting a box of contacts. He hands me my box of contacts and he says to me, wow, I never knew that you wore contacts. You can't even see them. What are you, nuts? Of course you can't see them. What are you out of your mind? Imagine you could see my contacts. I've never heard something so stupid in my whole life. I looked at him, I'm like, yeah, you can't see them. You can't see them. That's why they're contacts. That's my what are you nuts?
So what are you nuts? So I thought the what are you nuts was a more general thing.
It can be general.
It can be so
it can be anything.
My what are you nuts moments are two.
Yes.
They're on Cameo.
Okay.
You know Cameo.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Cameo is where you do videos. The requests people send me for cameos are so insane sometimes. They give you the history. And it's the same also at the meet and greet when they want to take a picture with you. At the meet and greet, I have sometimes, first of all, I love my meet and greets. I love finding out where everybody's from. I love hearing the stories. They're great. But some of the people are insane. You have the women who just had their tits done. And they put their tits in, just for the picture at the meet and greet. They put my arm in between their tits, whispering into my ear saying, my father's a Holocaust survivor. My mom has stage 4 cancer. Smile. And this is just, and I have to be, and or they just did the craziest thing. And on Cameo, hi, this is for my father. He's leaving his wife, and we all hate her. Please send him. We're so happy that he's leaving her, and like that kind of stuff. And then they all show it to me, and it's great. I love it.
Oh my God! What are you nuts?
The thing, what are you nuts telling me? I don't. What are you telling me about Survivor? Just say hi.
Just say hi.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna see you again.
Oh, I'll tell you. What are you nuts? I'll tell you what. So I haven't been in high school since 1988. That's when I graduated.
Yes.
People come to me at shows that were in high school with me.
Okay.
And I haven't seen them since they were 18. Now they're 50 or whatever they are. And they're bald and fat. And they say, you recognize me, don't you? How would I recognize you? Last time I saw you, you were 18 years old. How am I going to recognize you now?
Nuts.
But the ones that I do recognize, yishkoyach, good for them. Congratulations.
Because they look the same.
If I can tell what you look like from 30 years ago,
amazing.
Good for you.
Good on you.
Good for you.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Josh, what's yours?
What's yours?
My what are you nuts is that have you noticed that whenever you go to a website now, I think this is a new rule that they have to say, do you want to accept the cookies? Right? These cookies, these internet cookies. There's a real problem here. They need to rename it and not call them cookies, because cookies infer good, delicious, happy making. They should call them cold sores, because no one goes, I got a cold sore, good news. What are you nuts? Don't call them cookies. That's my what are you nuts.
Also, why do we ever accept? I accept. I feel peer pressure to say yes.
Oh, I'm just so happy that I'm not asking for a password. Thank you for not asking for a password. Just whatever you want. Yes.
Anything to try to figure it.
Just to move it on.
Move it along.
Now, I brought both of you guys.
Oh.
I brought you both.
Oh my God.
Mashiach Energy Yarmulkes.
Oh my God, I'm mailing it to Josh.
Josh,
I'm mailing you this.
I love it. I'm such a fan.
Wow.
The yarmulke's better.
This is. Oh, I forgot I'm wearing these headphones.
Yeah.
These headphones.
So Mashiach Energy.
Thank you, Modi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
Appreciate it. And it has been just a pleasure having you on.
I'm
Modi.
so happy to be on. You guys
thank you for joining us.
Great. Thank you.
This was great. Talk about where we can find you on your tour. On the Pause for Laughter tour.
No,
New dates?
Those of you who are not Jewish, listen to me. Those of you who are not Jewish, I have a special out. It's called Modi Know Your Audience. We put it on YouTube, so it's free for everybody. If you want to watch it on Amazon, it's $1, it's $3.99, whatever the hell it is. It's Know Your Audience. Send it to your friends who are Jewish. Send it to your friends who are not Jewish. It's literally a portal into the Jewish world through laughter and pride. And it's amazing. And if you have grandparents or parents who are not tech savvy, help them, watch it with them. It'll be amazing. Otherwise, tour dates all over the world. From Zurich to London, we added a show in the Palladium.
Wow.
We at the Beacon. We were in Australia. I think everything's on ModiLive.com. Modi, like the president of India, live. ModiLive.com. Everything's there. Say hi and Modi_live on Instagram, but everything through the website. And thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
What a fun.
Thank you.
hour.
You're
We had a
awesome,
blast.
Modi. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, John.
We had a blast. And as always, folks, this episode, rate us 5 stars. Otherwise, what are you nuts? This is a 5-star episode.
5-star.
5 stars. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you find your podcast. Watch us on Josh's YouTube. You got to see us engaging, having a nice time.
Yeah.
Watch us, and then listen again. You know, double the views, double the numbers. It's better for us. It's great for you. Send it to a friend, a Jewish friend, a non-Jewish friend, whatever you want. Mondays and Thursdays, folks. Don't forget both days, and we'll see you next time.
Oh man, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.